Good morning everyone. We are the group 7 together with Crystal Piad, Erica Delicano, Armada Yasha Marie, Gabayan Kimberly, and Enrica Lina. Our topic is about visual rhetoric, evaluating visual rhetoric. So our learning outcome is at the end of the chapter, students should be able to define visual rhetoric, explain visual rhetoric significant in business communication, analyze the 3 steps to create hyperlink, analyze the visual cue and image based on mode of persuasion, criticize the manner of visual rhetoric presentation, create their own visual argument, and evaluate visual rhetoric example. So, I am Crystal Piad, your first reporter, the what, why, and where of visual rhetoric. Visual rhetoric refers to the way the visual topographies of a message and the overall design of a document communicate not only the message but also the business communicator professional credibility. So it is how we perceive people by the image or visual image, the message that we wanted to convey in people. It also important to look for the credibility or quality in order to perceive, because visual rhetoric is how a person interpret and analyze the thing he sees. So it based on how people see in the product if it's good quality or not, and how these things make an impact to him. So we should look always for the credibility to catch the attention of our customers. So rhetoric, as defined by Merriam-Webster dictionary, means the art of speaking or writing effectively as a means of communication or persuasion. So effective in speaking and writing is also an effective to persuade customer. So in the next slide, in business, visual rhetoric becomes rapidly significant or important to one's success. Conversely, words are said to be a powerful weapon of a person, especially in making an impact to customer or clients. So, in order to persuade, we should use a powerful word to persuade customer. This is uncertainly similar to image. More than visual manipulation, image are powerful as word, as they are still part of some materials used to persuade the recipient, but mostly because of the imaginary that they create in our mind. So there have a example of visual image, the lipstick. When browsing your Facebook feed, you might across ads like this. As a person fan of Maybelline lipstick, they will get this as an opportunity to order. The word sale is figure 50% off are the feature that customer may always give attention to. Ours will have them an alarm to order immediately. When the additional photo of Gigi Hayden wearing a lipstick shade in display of their new shade of lipstick, the audience will rely on the color TC. So, considering the needs of convincing the audience, the following mode of persuasion, rhetorical appeals by Aristotle are used. So we have 3 rhetorical appeals: ethos, pathos, and logos. So ethos, or the ethical appeal, means to convince the audience of the communicator credibility and character. So this is established personal credential and getting your audience to trust you to buy the product. Example, as a 3-time Olympic gold medalist, I can assure you that this prove your fitness and stamina. So this advertisement emphasizes on being an Olympic gold medalist, showcase the speaker credibility. So pathos, or the emotional appeal, is a way of convincing the audience of an argument through stimulating an emotional response on whoever the communicator wants him to feel based on the visual cue. So these pathos use emotion. So example is, if you still remember the Nido advertisement, that is example of pathos. So logos or logical appeal is the communicator way of convincing the audience based on logical and facts. So in logos, the example is the advertisement of Boost Optimum. In the advertisement, they give an fact, which they give data about that product. So in the next slide, the how of visual rhetoric. The field of rhetorical composition has yet to truly acknowledge the change in development, and writing tools have changed. Writing, literacy, and communication practice in fundamental ways that give how writing happened in the 21st century. All composition research need to be computer in writing research. That is according to Tim Porter. That is true. All composition research need to be computer in writing research, because nowadays we are in the use of technology. Also, we are in the digital world and modern world, which is technology are very useful. So that is the end of my report.
Good morning, I'm Isa Marie Armada, and my topic is all about the basic elements of visual rhetoric in hypertext. So, as cited in Dynamic Diagram Incorporated of 2014, originally published in Designing User Interfaces for Hypermedia in 1995, there are three fundamental elements of visual rhetoric in hypertext. But before that, we will go into define first what is hypertext. So, hypertext is defined as the database format in which information related to that on a display can be accessed directly from the display, which was first known used in 1965. So, the hypertext is the one that if we will going to click that certain word, we will going to proceed on a next website or in the next pages. For example, we usually see this in the dictionary, right? If we were going to search the dictionary in the Google or in the Merriam-Webster, if we were going to click that certain word, we were going to proceed to another definition or the definition of that word that we click. Okay? So, there are three important elements and methods in hypertext system, and these are the link presence, the link destination, and then the link mapping. Okay, so let's proceed. What is hyperlink? Hyperlinks are clickable words or images that navigate to other web content. They can connect with almost any resource on the web. Okay, so the hyperlinks, it is the link, something like the HTTP, www dot, something like that, right? That is the hyperlinks. So hypertext and hyperlinks is different, but they are much related terms, but has a different meaning, because the difference between the two is that hypertext is the non-linear representation of the data. When clicked, it redirects you to some other pages, while the hyperlink is the link embedded in the hypertext to which the control is transferred. Okay, so you know what is the difference between the two? That the hypertext, it is a word, while the hyperlink, it is a link. Okay, so let's proceed. There are three easy steps on how to create a hyperlink in a word. So the first one is we must open our Microsoft Word first, and then try to write something on that. At first is to embed a link in text within a Microsoft Word document. Start by highlighting the text. So at first, we need to highlight first the certain text. Okay, not all of the text, but a certain text lang. And then the second one, Then click insert in the upper menu bar. So after that, after we will going to highlight the text, we will going to click the insert in the upper part, right? And then we will going to proceed to the three steps, which is just follow these formats, the link, and then the insert link. Okay, there are these picture here that will going to guide you on how you will going to do the hyperlink in Microsoft Word. Okay, that's all my report. Let's proceed to the next reporter.
So good morning everyone, I am Rika Gisramlina, the next reporter. So my topic is about how to generate a visual material and also the queries to consider when choosing a font. So we have the text element in here. So what is text elements? So text elements are relatively important as displayed on one particular image. Texts are highly visual and powerful to catch someone's attention that they naturally become invisible at times. Also now, text elements are based on creating letters, numbers, and special characters that it can be also categorized into alphabet characters, special characters, and so on that can make your work be more creative and attractive. And also text elements are important in our visual materials because it is one way to catch someone's attention, even if it is a passerby, a customer, and so on, especially if the text in your visual materials are very attractive. That's why font convention must be considered because they convey and create distinct meaning to one's mind when viewed and paid attentions to, because choosing a wrong font can completely change the personality of your brand, thus giving people the wrong impressions about your company, your visual material, or etc., especially if it is in your logo or you are creating a logo. So we have the table in here. Here is the table he used an adapter from Henderson, Rees and Cody on 2004 on how to choose the right font according to science. So as you can see on the table, we have several fonts in here that stating its level of traits or how a font looks so pleasing, engaging, reassuring, and prominent. So we have a first group of fonts in here, and the first one state that the font are pleasing and the level of its rate was high, means the font was attractive, warm, and has a general liking. So the second font in here, the trait of the second font was engaging, and also same with the first font, the level of it was high. um, Means the trait engaging means the font is interesting and emotional. The next font are reassuring and the level is only average. Means the font was calm, formal, and just a familiar font. So lastly, in our first group of font, we have the trait prominent, and this Pipita MC like kind of the fonts, and the level was low. Um, Means the font is strong and just and masculine. So next, so we have here the Nicoletta in 2016 published a book titled The Psychology of the Fonts, where he explained thoroughly that people subconsciously evaluate fonts as they compare collective meaning to the context and based on the degree of fluency. So Here are the fonts also vary in perceptual traits. So, for serif versus sans serif. So, understanding the difference between these two categories will help us or will help you to start narrowing down which one is right for you. So, so for serif versus sans serif. So a serif is it is a decorative stroke that finishes off the end of a letter stem, or sometimes called as the feet of the letters because it looks like it has a feet which it curves down, and means a serif font is a font that has a serif, while sans serif is a font that does not. That's why hence the sans, right? So the serif font is more ornamental and has a serif extending from the ends, like what I've said earlier, like the feet of the letters. So while the sans serif font on the left has clean and precise end, it's just in letter, it ends directly. It does not have we call that feet of a letters. So fonts also vary in percentage traits, for light versus bold, for rounded versus angular, for simple versus complex, for slanted versus straight, for lowercase versus uppercase, for separated versus connected, for condensed versus extended, or for short versus tall. So both these styles have their own unique personality and communicative communicate very different messages. That's why it is important to understand each styles and make sure you're choosing a font that aligns with the message you want your brand or your um, visual materials to communicate to. Now, let's proceed to the criteria to consider when choosing a font. So, here are the following queries to consider when choosing a font. Number one, what does my audience expect from my use of fonts? Next, what do I embody in my font choices? What kind of text am I typing in various fonts? It is for headlines or fine print, body text or bulleted list. How far is my text being viewed by the audience? Is it on billboard, poster, flyer, sticker, or greeting card? What are the available fonts that can register on majority of my audience computers, and I will post on my website in case they are using an old version of OS. So considering all of this, um, considering all of this, also important for you to manage well your funds and can easily know what funds you were using in your visual materials, logos in your company, and what funds will look proper, or what funds are suitable in your project or in your work. So considering all of these queries is really important for you to manage well your funds. So that's the end of my topic, and I will give the floor to the next reporter. Thank you.
Good morning, everyone. I am Erica Delicano, and I am the next reporter. My topic for today is about how colors affect customers' mood and branding. Same as text, colors are as essential as your type choice. Not to mention that some people are colorblind, still color attract the audience in general as it paints all sorts of emotions and triggers the creativity in people to think and appreciate something. As you know from your own experience, color catches your attention and influences your response to images. The color will also one of the most important because it can attract attention of every person. Colors have many meanings depending on the context and field. But let us focus on the technical side where Suttie 2018 wrote this article titled The Psychology of Color in Marketing and Branding on Helps Code website. Color physiology is the study of how colors affect the perceptions and behaviors. In marketing and branding, color physiology is focused on how colors impact consumers' impressions of a brand and whether or not they persuade consumers to consider specific brands or make a purchase. Certain color is seen as a factor that is associated with certain feelings or mood based on the studies as believed since 1930 in the Western world. There are metaphors of colors that affect people's mood. First things first. Business communicators most understand how their choice of colors for their brand may affect the consumer's mood toward their products or services. Not all people have bipolar disorder, yet many people change mood from time to time. This one aspect may be answered by one of many factors colors around us. It is true that colors have different meanings depending on cultures, such as brown with ruggedness but can be used to create a warm feeling in another context. Purple with sophistication, red with excitement, and green with calmness, but sometimes used to brand environmental issues or to brand financial cases. There are different colors with different behavior using color psychology. The first one is blue, indicates trust and appeals of discipline. Formal, calmness, trustworthiness, clarity, security, and articulation. Blue is favored by so many people, it is often viewed as a non-threatening color that can seem conservative and traditional. Blue calls to mind feelings of calmness and relaxation. Blue is seen as a sign of stability and reliability. The next one is green, denotes prosperity, progress, peace, environment, balance, and freshness. The next is red, conveys energy, excitement, vibrancy, passion, enthusiasm, rebel, masculinity, and action. The next one is yellow. It's a cheerful color. It is warm, active, and innovative. The next one is black. Signifies powers, class, elegance, uncompromising behavior, strength, security, and evil. The next one is orange. Exudes extroversion, confidence, youthfulness, and fun. Silver or white stands for quality and workmanship. The next is psychologist and Stanford professor Jennifer Aker, 1997, conducted studies on color branding with her research title Dimensions of Brand Personality. There have five dimensions of brand personality. The first one is sincerity. This dimension includes brands that are seen as down to earth, honest, trustful, and cheerful. Sincere brands also often apply clear consumer policies to avoid ambiguities. They establish good customer relationships and support employees and the social and natural environment. The next one is excitement. This dimension involves brands which are perceived as being imaginative, up to date, inspiring, rigid, and spirited. Thus, often these brands often use colorful logos, uncommon fonts, portray themselves in unexpected and exciting places and situations. You may also find them frequently being exposed in sport competitions and large-scale music events. Their team of marketers do their best to promote them as organizations that to think outside of the box to inspire and excite customers. The next one is competence. Competent brands are the ones who are primarily seen as being reliable, responsible, intelligent, and efficient. These consumer perceptions are often based on how well a product or service performs and how the organization behaves in the society and the markets. The next one is sophistication. Sophisticated brands are the ones perceived by customers as upper class, romantic, charming, pretentious, and glamorous. Thus, it is no surprise to imagine that sophisticated brands are commonly found across luxury industries and on high price brands for their product categories across other industries. The next one is rigidness. Finally, this dimension includes brands that are seen as outdoorsy, to masculine, and western. The general aim is to convey the idea that the product is resistant, durable, and made for people who are brave, willing to take risks, with low fear, and that do not wish to have an ordinary life. That's all my report. Thank you.
Visual designer apps and tools. In our tech-savvy generation, it is not only the brand alone that is being sold, having certain color that represents it, but also the color manipulation applied on a specific image becomes a trend product being sold all over the social media spectrum. So, a Lightroom preset is a package of filter that takes the bothersome of editing, applying modified effects for you without you having to adjust levels of photo editing tools and features, only to achieve the desired fulfilling photo that you may want to publish in your Instagram account. So, visual design was born out of a mixture of graphics design and user interface design. It is focuses on the aesthetics of a website or any other type of digital design. So, we have many visual design tools to create stunning visual content. I have lists of visual design tools for people who appreciate the beautiful design visual content. So, inspiration tools, stock image tools, color and color palette tools, desktop image creating tools, GIF creation tools, image photo editing tools, and video tools. You can see these tools on your laptop or in your touchscreen phone. So, below is an example of Lightroom preset photo editing process. You can see that the photo edited to be more brightful and to be more stunning in our eyes. That's the effects of editing a picture. So there are many other apps that can be used to create visual rhetoric images that can help us to edit our images. So, design as rhetorical organization. So, designing visual rhetorically is likened to the way a normal person reads, being particular to setting his eyes on important cues with a horizontal, vertical, diagonal, or circular manner. So, it's up to you if what you prefer or what your eyes prefer on editing an image. In rhetorical organization, we need to have these following points. These following points is to help. Number one, design based on significance. This significance is for the artists who make the design. They put significance when they designing. Number two, design based on purpose. Know that every design that you created is have a purpose. Number three, design to build up, highlight, and zoom in this. This thing is to make your design more beautiful and clear. Number four, design based on uniqueness. All people have uniqueness. So if you want to design something, you will create a unique design.